What's up, guys and girls? It's good to see you today on the speaknsee show. I ask you to like, subscribe, and click that notification button so when I get information out, you can get information in. I cannot personally wait for football season to start again. It just, it does something for you. It takes your mind off, takes my mind off of all of the things in the world that are going around us that are just seem so like things you can't control, and you put the ball into the hands of somebody who can control the team and make them move forward and win games for you. And last year was like a blessing to me to be able to watch my football team go to the Super Bowl and win. And it'll be a blessing to me to go see them beat Jason McElhome's team this year in the first game of the season against the Dallas Cowboys. Go Bucks. Sorry, Jason. Now, all respect to Jason McElhome. He's working hard out there for all of us, and I want to give him props because I know it's hard to do videos on days like this when so much stuff is going on. Now, first of all, let me just get into a couple quick updates real quick on what's going on as far as the new human infrastructure bill. Then we'll get into the SBA and EIDL loans. I'm going to use my cheat sheet down here if you don't mind. The federal unemployment benefits will be expiring on September 6th. The $300 unemployment checks will stop going out unless states opt back into the program. However, no states have opted in yet, and 7.5 million Americans are at risk right now of losing these funds. Alessandro Cortez even punches back at the Biden administration, saying the Biden administration has almost no willingness to extend the pandemic unemployment assistance. The Senate nor the White House wants to do it. So the House of Representatives will have to be a very committed team on getting this done. And then Ilhan Omar ended up saying that she will tally up the votes in the Senate, in Congress, to find out if the House has enough to meet its expectations to get this extended for the unemployment benefits. The single-parent credit tax. The single-tax parents, if you are married in combined income with $150,000 or less, you will receive full child tax credits. If you're a single parent, you're going to receive the full amount of money if your income is $112,500 or less. There is a bill called the Single Parent Penalty Elimination Act, and this could change the rule if that bill gets passed for the Single Parent Penalty Act. The new act would change it so that the single parents would get the same amount of money as married parents. It would try to even up the playing field so that the children are not left out of it due to the parent not being married still. As far as the Eviction Protection Act goes, the Supreme Court has just ruled that the CDC's eviction protection rule was not legal, so the landlords can once again start evicting tenants. Some states have protection for this, but most states do not, and the census shows that 7.4 million Americans are now in risk of being evicted. Now, Nancy Pelosi says that this was a cruel move by the Supreme Court, and many members in the House of Representatives are telling Nancy that she needs to take action on this immediately. This would have to be put into the human infrastructure bill, which is now in front of the senators, and the senators would have to add that in, even though right now they're trying to eliminate money from the human infrastructure bill. So whether that goes through in this bill or not, we'll see in the future. Treasurer Janet Yellen and President Biden are asking state and local officials in localities to pause the evictions until everyone who needs rental assistance can apply for it. Now, with reality hitting the administration on all of these issues, now reality is hitting them pretty hard right now as far as what's important to the American people. We're going to find out if this difficulty that they're having facing these real problems continues, because it would be like what happens is if you take a group of actors that were put into act in a military movie, in a war movie, and you take all these actors and put them in a real war, here's what would happen. So that's what we're seeing right now is they're getting their orientation in the real war instead of already having fought and been there. So that's kind of what we're seeing with this administration. Now, Herschel Walker is also going for senator of Georgia. One of my favorite athletes. Is he going to be a good senator? I don't know, but he's going to try to beat Warnock, who apparently has turned his back on the small businesses of America. So go Herschel. Score a touchdown on this one for us, brother, and bring the EIDL grant program back without that policy map, please. Now, SBA EIDL loans for small businesses were being processed at record rates in July and even showed a spike in August. However, many sources are saying that the August spike was another dangling carrot. The SBA seemed to have just sent out hundreds of thousands of denials with no reasons of the denials being given. This lack of transparency is an ongoing issue for the new SBA, and even though Congress has applied pressure on them, as have we, to be more transparent, there's been a little bit to no changes at all as far as the transparency goes for the SBA, and there's been no changes at all for given reasons of EIDL loans denials. They've even gotten more excuses to give denials over what they had. The federally run program has started deflecting attention on themselves in Washington, D.C. to look more towards local and state SBA agencies who are now helping small businesses providing help with these loans. I encourage anyone who is having issues with their loans at this time to contact your local district office in your region, your SBA district office in your region. Like if you're in Broward County, you would type in Broward County SBA and Google it and find out what that number is and call them up directly. Also, I'm going to give you a tier 2 number down below. If you want to click down below, you'll see that link. Also, there's a tier 2 number, and they usually answer the phone within minutes. Have your application number ready, and they will be able to look at your application and tell you what the holdup is. If they cannot tell you, and the SBA local agency cannot tell you, then if that fails to provide you the information that you need, the next level up would be the state rep in your district as well, who in turn can contact the SBA on your behalf and sometimes get a response immediately for you. Now, we have to remember that the SBA is an independent agency of the federal government. It's only a cabinet level federal agency, so it's below the Senate and below Congress. It cannot do nothing without their permission. So when you get a number from your local representative, like your congressman or woman in your district, and that office calls the SBA, it would be like your boss calling you and saying, I need to get this done, and I need to get this done now. So that's why we've had a lot of great success with calling our congressmen and congresswomen in our district. And if you go to congress.gov in your search engine, it will take you to congress.gov, and in the right-hand corner, you'll see a search engine where you can search for your local representative in your area, and you can call them as well. Now, we've seen a lot of success. The most success rate that I've had seen on my channels has been calling the congressmen and women. We started off calling senators at one time, and to be honest with you, we had a few success stories with the senators, but we have had more success stories, even more success stories, with our local representatives and congressmen and women, because they have more staff to deal with you as far as your SBA issues will go. So I would encourage that. Now, if your congressman or congresswoman fails to help you, then we would hit the senators next. On occasions, we've had to do that, and we've had some good success with our senators, but they would want to know, who have you contacted? Did you go up the chain of command to get to me? And if you can reply, yes, I did, you're my last resort, then that always helps as well. So hopefully this information gets out to you. Hopefully there's a lot, our channel views have gone way down, and that's mostly in part to one of two things. One thing is they're down for is because people have gotten their SBA loans and grants and have now just moved forward in their businesses, which is a beautiful thing, and I love to see it. If my views go down and your businesses go up, then I've succeeded in my job. Now, the other reason that the views here are going down is probably because we have to bring politics into the equation with the SBA, because it is political now. It is, even though it is not an independent, even though it is an independent agency from the federal government, it is the politicians and the politics that determine who gets what and where it is dispersed. The SBA is just responsible for dispersing it once they get the go-ahead and once they get the funds. So yes, we're political, and sometimes our views come across as being too Republican, and YouTube doesn't like that, so the suggestions go down on the channels, or we be too Democrat, and YouTube doesn't like that. Yeah, actually they do. They like that better, but it's hard to give the Democrats any props when this is their administration that's running the SBA, and they're not doing a very good job of it. So with all that said, I ask you all like, subscribe, and click that notification button, and somebody say, hey, I want my 10K.
Somebody give it to me. Somebody give it to me. Somebody. Yeah. Somebody say, hey.